everyone. Oh, have I got a treat for you today? You know those characters who come waltzing into our lives, breaking every rule, defying every expectation, and somehow, by the end, leave us with our jaws on the floor, questioning everything we thought we knew about villains. Yeah. Today, we're diving into the world of WandaVision's very own, magnificently malevolent, and surprisingly multifaceted, Agatha Harkness. I've got to be honest, I've always been a sucker for a good villain, and when Agatha, played by the endlessly talented Kathryn Hahn, sashayed onto the screen with that sly grin, twinkling eyes, and that unbelievably catchy theme song, she wasn't just any villain. Oh no, she was the villain, kind who makes evil look devilishly delightful. But you know what? Even from the first moment, I always believed there was more to her story. And guess what? I was right. I know. On the surface, Agatha seemed like your classic bad witch, cackling gleefully, pulling the strings behind Wanda's world, and flashing those cheeky winks that almost made you want to join her in her mischievous chaos. And yet, in the final episodes of WandaVision and throughout Agatha All Along, we saw the layers peel back. Beneath the villainous bravado, we found something deeper, something human and heartbreakingly relatable. So buckle up, folks, because today we're exploring why Agatha Harkness isn't just a bad witch, but one of the most compelling, tragic figures in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's rewind for a second. Agatha's journey starts centuries ago, back in the 1600s, where we get our first glimpse into her past. Imagine this: a young, ambitious witch in a coven that should have loved, nurtured, and protected her. Instead, they tie her to a tree, prepared to execute her, not just for stepping out of line, but for being different. And at the head of this betrayal, her own mother, Agatha Harkness. Think about that. Your own mother condemning you, calling you an abomination. The pain, the fear, the sheer betrayal. No wonder Agatha became the witch we know today, wearing her trauma like a shield. But let's not sugarcoat it. Agatha Harkness has done terrible things. She manipulates, she kills, she lies with a casualness that's both chilling and irresistible. But the why behind her actions, that's where things get, well, spellbinding. See, episode 5 of Agatha All Along reveals so much more about her past. When Ivanora's ghost confronts Agatha, the terror she feels is palpable. Kathryn Hahn's performance, my friends, is a masterclass in vulnerability and power. You can see Agatha, this otherwise unshakable figure, reduced to a terrified child in the face of her mother's spirit. It's as if centuries of pain and trauma come rushing back in a tidal wave. And while we still don't have all the answers about her original coven's betrayal, one thing's for sure: Agatha's actions are born out of a lifetime of survival. Speaking of survival, let's talk about Nicholas Scratch, Agatha's son, a miracle, as she calls him. This is where things get really heartbreaking. Witches are supposed to be part of a community, drawing strength from their coven. But Agatha, she's alone. Her only natural power is draining other witches' magic, a horrifying ability that isolates her further. Yet, in this bleak, magic-fueled existence, Nikki is her beacon of hope, her reason to keep going. But then, in a universe where magic and miracles are supposed to conquer all, she loses him. Death takes Nikki away. And it doesn't matter how much magic Agatha consumes, she can't protect the one she loves most. This is where we see the depth of her pain. The MCU, a world where superheroes and sorcerers routinely bend the rules of mortality, shows us a grief that cannot be undone. Agatha's desperate attempts to stave off death to make sense of a world that took her son away become so painfully human. Now, Agatha carries Nikki's memory with her, literally and symbolically. That brooch she wears, it holds a lock of his hair, and that theme song we all adore, Agatha All Along. It's actually a twisted, mournful anthem to the son she lost. Suddenly, Agatha isn't just the wicked witch pulling the strings in Westview. She's a mother whose grief has consumed her, pushing her into a never-ending cycle of vengeance and survival. And isn't it fascinating how WandaVision and Agatha All Along confront grief head-on? Wanda and Agatha, two women scarred by loss, each finding different ways to cope. Wanda tries to recreate the life she lost, trapping herself and others in an illusion of happiness. Agatha, meanwhile, lets her trauma fester, her pain manifesting in cruelty. They're not just hero and villain. They're mirrors of each other. And that, my friends, is storytelling at its finest. Which brings us to that gut-wrenching moment in the finale. Agatha sacrifices herself to save Billy Maximoff. When she sees him, she's reminded of Nikki. And even though she knows it's a dangerous, self-destructive move, she can't help but try to protect this boy the way she couldn't protect her own. She invokes Nikki's name, and for a split second, the walls around her heart crack wide open. Kathryn Hahn's performance in this scene, it's devastating. You see every ounce of love, pain, and regret etched across her face. But here's the kicker: even in this moment of sacrifice, Agatha isn't redeemed. She becomes a ghost, still burdened by centuries of sin and grief, unable to reunite with her son. It's not a redemption arc, but rather a moment of complexity that makes her infinitely more compelling. She remains morally grey, straddling the line between villainy and something more. And honestly, that's where she shines brightest. So, is Agatha Harkness a hero? Villain? Victim of her own pain? The answer isn't simple. And that's what makes her such an unforgettable character. In a world full of one-note baddies and forced redemption arcs, Agatha stands out as a fully realized, deeply complex individual. She's cruel, cunning, and unapologetically wicked, but she's also a grieving mother, a survivor, and a character who challenges our perceptions of good and evil. Jack Schaefer and Kathryn Hahn have given us something extraordinary. Agatha Harkness isn't just the cackling witch we love to hate. She's a testament to the messy, beautiful, and often tragic realities of being human. And you know what? They could never make me hate you, Agatha. Even with all your sins, you're everything I hoped for, and more. So, what do you think? Do you believe in Agatha's potential for redemption? Or do you love her just the way she is? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And let's celebrate one of the most spellbinding characters the MCU has ever given us. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and until next time, stay magical, my friends.